Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. Seidokan Yakusoku Juban, number 10. Now, there wasn't a lot of, because I didn't use Brandon Nix as my partner in Okinawa, there won't be really a corollary video from Okinawa on this one, because his mom, Misakemi, was filming, and apparently when I wasn't using Brandon, she didn't film me that much. So there's not going to be, I may throw in a little piece, just a short clip, because I think one person videoed it on the side of the Okinawa, but it's not going to vary much from what I show here, so I'll think about that. Okay, Yakusoku number 10, kata version, Jodan punch. Hey, high block. If I can, and I mentioned this way back when I first taught it, I want to attack the funny bone, the nerves, the brachial artery. If I go here, he just drops his elbow or comes around, he's got stuff. But if I can drive that back, all the better. I don't want to block just wrist to wrist. If I'm wrist to wrist, look how far I am. I want to be going into this guy, proactive. As I mentioned in a previous video, there's a guy named Dave something, Kempo MMA guy, who used the term flinch forward. And that's a very important concept. I'm going to flinch anyway. If I'm going to flinch, I might as well go into the attack. So he comes in, hey, shikodachi anyuke, past the elbow. Now, this hand, like I'm doing a high block, and I'm going to pull back to bend his elbow. So there's a push-pull here. From here, I'm just going to switch my hands and drop to my knee. This is going to make him do a back bend and slam his head to the ground. I lock, finish as desired. Hey. That's the mean version, the core version, the main kata version. A nicer iteration of that. Hey, same block here. But now instead of going straight down, I'm going to take a step and I'm going to switch my elbow bending hand to his wrist and my wrist pushing hand to his elbow as I step. Then I'm going to take a third step where I can nicely just lay him down and again pin the elbow, punch as desired. Now, as long as I'm here, one of the other things we can do, even as an add-on to the kata version, is I have his wrist here and his elbow here. If I step back, stay there, and I do what we see in Pasai, Pinyan Godan, and I do this, there goes his shoulder joint. So that's one little add-on that we can do. What we're essentially doing, and I showed this way back at Orange Belt, as a bunkai for the 3 high blocks. Because essentially what we're doing is high block 1, high block 2, kind of interrupted by his arm getting in the way. High block 3, I push his elbow and pull down. There's my hikite and the high block. So watch for that. Okay? Hey. 1, 2, 3. When we coordinate that with the steps for the nice takedown. So it's sort of, if instead of doing full high blocks here, I just did little high blocks, that's kind of what's going on his arm. Now again, because it's a Jodan punch and a high block, it could be a front choke. Maybe I step back on this one and then come in, but it's more conducive to your overhead type of attacks. And again, when we start with a weapon, we're going to go back to kata version of karate setting. Right? That buys me a nice, safe entry. But street level, public violence level, the arc of the strike is going to vary wildly. Some people are just going to come from here and a quick elbow back. That's hard to get in on. So you have to be ready to flinch forward really radically here. But if he's coming with a full blown, I'm going to take your head off, that gives me the time. I want to make sure I first not gotten too close to a guy with a weapon. I want to make him come to me because that forward movement is my time to get into him. Now, as we come to the elbow, here's where I can make a little alteration. I can strike and wrap the elbow from the inside instead of the outside. So that's one variation we can do. So as he's coming, bam, take it from the inside. Again, I want to stay within the concept for the purposes of the technique. Stay within the concept of Yakusoku 10, Juban, but if I have to make little variations, I can. There are a lot of things we can do with an overhead club strike, right? I could just boom, right to the throat here, knee strike, drive forward, forget about technique altogether and just pound on him. We could go right into Ippon Serenage, throws. So we could change that up all sorts of ways. But staying within Juban, street attack, hey, jump in quick. I want to get from there to here as fast as I can, because any gap in time is just as bad as a gap in space. Then again, I still have the same thing. Now, I don't even have to take him down. I can pivot here, take him up and over, pulling his shoulder out of the socket. Very hard to slap out of this. So do it slowly and carefully if you're going to. That's fun, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I either want to go away, sit on my living room couch, or I want to get into the eye of the hurricane. We don't want to ever be within the winds of the hurricane. In, boom, take it. From here, I can add strikes. There are instructionals on the technique of bending the elbow to hit here, push down in the back, this way, okay? That may happen in real life too. Be ready for that club to hit your foot, okay? Boom, back. From here, turning and throw, come to the face, look at my free legs. There goes the front of his thigh, his knee. I can add a sweep as I go into the takedown, so we can do the add-ons, either striking, blocking, or throwing from that point. Again, those aren't the only attacks, but that gives you an idea of how we can start to create variety within the attacks of the reality of Juban for street level size attacks. Always start slowly, slow, then fast, soft, gradually lightly harder, but certain things you're never going to go super hard on your opponent, but you can go fast with control, not actually hit them. And from organized to chaos. And we'll look at, I'm going to go back and look at each of these from the chaos version. How do we do this within multiple, not just a single swing, but multiple swings, continuous attacks, so forth. That's it for today. Number 10. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the good stuff. But until next week, most importantly, as always, let's keep practicing.